Mickey, Molly, hey, congratulations on Agnes.
Thank you.
Ew.
I think it's more important to congratulate that the film is being showcased at Tribeca. How do you folks feel about that?
Oh man, through the roof, over the roof. Whatever you
Yeah.
say there. Great, fantastic. Like a million
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah. It's like Christmas and Easter and oh my God, 4th of July. It's every amazing holiday like in one.
Thanksgiving. That's
Yeah.
that's my favorite holiday.
Yeah, there's some Thanksgiving in there. We can all gorge ourselves on a turkey and
Yeah.
delicacies for sure.
I love it how you folks compared this to all of our favorite holidays, but it's a good celebration.
Yeah.
Mickey, let me throw the first question over to you. Where did this original idea actually came from? Because I found this film very fascinating. It almost feels like it's watching two movies.
Yeah, certainly. You know, like the like visual wise, it was very much nunsploitation films and the devils and black narcissists as well, and like uh, and of course Bergman, just because I'm still fascinated by that blocking like of the Fassbinder and Bergman and stuff. That's these kind of like faces on faces, and I thought it would be interesting to do that with nuns, and then in that aspect, it was also ended up kind of like taking on this more of like a European romantic coming of age drama looking kind of kind of what we would consider kind of boring looking to have these nuns and like, but to compose them in like these kind of Renaissance painting, and then writing it, I just can't save myself from kind of throwing in the jokes and making it fun and and funny, and so I knew it would be some kind of like interesting concoction to do that, and then once like the first kind of half was written and all kind of like settled on, it was like either we go back and add more to that and make it a traditional kind of like Exorcist movie that everyone has pretty much seen before, or at least expects to see out of it, like writing things that you expect to see out of something like that. I was like, let's go follow this Mary character and let her go to the second half, and let's see what that does, see what that's like to just kind of follow a character as opposed to a story.
Absolutely. Molly, why did you want to do a film like this? Because this certainly erased that, that good girl image that you had for so many years from Castle.
It erases it. Oh my. I love horror, and in 2019 when I was able to start my production company Quagmire, it was the first thing that we all wanted to do. So when we saw Climate of the Hunter and were introduced to Mickey, we were really intrigued. So reading Agnes, it had that same quirky, just a slightly different take on the horror genre. So as a filmmaker, I was really interested in that. As a movie watcher of horror, like that's the number one genre I watch. I really wanted to do that. But I was also obsessed with the character study that's hidden in this movie. Mary is, she's a complicated woman who's running from a lot of her grief. And, I personally connect that. I think a lot of people watching it can connect that, how, sometimes there are things we need to deal with and we just kind of keep pushing it aside. And you can never do that for long because it eventually catches up with you, whether it's just in real life or if it's actually something demonic. And that's, really up to the viewer to decide.
Mickey, in terms of conducting the film, did you basically had approach this film separately on the first half and the second half? Because the first half was obviously sort of like an Exorcist type of movie, and the second half was much more like an aftermath of everything.
Yeah, to unify it, it was really more about kind of like shooting it very, very classically. We shot in a 2:5:5 frame ratio, and so everything's kind of like, it's like it's a situation where every picture is a painting kind of deal, and the camera movements are all the same, and from the first half to the second half, like there's not really that much difference in style. It's just such a difference in location, really. You know what I mean? And the themes and actually what we're working on that second half. I think the first half is so kind of like plot oriented of just like this thing leads to this thing leads to this thing, and it gets your heart racing because like how this is going to play out, where this is going to go. And then the second half becomes this kind of like hangout, like mystery that stays very ambiguous throughout, and then hopefully kind of like gives you a little bit of a satisfaction or closure at the end. But I think like as far as like keeping it all unified, I mean, that was mostly in the visuals to me on my end. And as far as like originally writing it, it was kind of like something like as long as there's one thing that you're attached to from the first half, like it's still, and that's Mary. She still carries the entire second half. So I don't know. I don't necessarily see it as two movies.
Molly, how did you get in this headspace of Mary? Because sometimes you scare me a bit with your maniacal laughter.
Well, I'm honored to hear it. When I'm creating characters, I start by starting diaries for them. I try to think about where they came from before, where they are in the script. I use context clues for that, to try to find the core of the person. What relationship is it that impacted them the most, or event in their life. And I really hit on this unexpected pregnancy that Mary had, and the decision to keep the child, and the love that came from having that child, and then the anger about that child being taken away from her. So again, I just kept reading. I think I read What to Expect When You're Expecting 20 times. Like, I just wanted to try to embody what it would be like to carry life, experience the best love in the world, and then the aftermath, like you said earlier, of having that taken away from you and having everyone around you tell you to get over it, and how insensitive that is. It's no one has the right to tell you to get over it. That's your journey. That's her baby. And yeah, I stuck with that. Mary's kind of like a wounded bear in the woods. Like she can't help herself. She doesn't have the tools to. And if everyone would leave her alone, she'd be fine. But they just won't leave her alone. So she starts biting and foaming and lashing out.
Well, and I guess that comes to the question. Hey, Mickey, why do demons want to bite off people's faces? I mean, what's that obsession?
I don't know. I think that's just something demons like to do. I don't know any demons personally, but and I haven't read every demon book, but from what I understand, yeah, that's one of the things they're very into. It's a very familiar hobby for a demon.
Yeah, I think it's the tastiest part of the human body. I think the nose is the tiramisu, if you will, of the body. It's the most delicious.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think it's Molly, because you had the most interesting interaction with Sean Gunn, which a lot of people know him from his CGI forms through many movies, but in this case, I do know he has done a lot of horror movies. What was it like acting with him and biting his face?
Oh, it was delightful. I love Sean. I've known Sean for close to a decade. So when we read this script and came across this wonderful Paul Sachimo, I mean, he just really jumped to the front of our minds. And I was like, I wonder if he has enough time, because his schedule is so busy, to come and do this with us. And he has such a eclectic past, doing all those films with Troma and like his interesting indies, along with his incredible Marvel Universe characters. He was really drawn to it, which of course is validating for our work. And then he's such a world-class actor. What he was able to bring to it was it was a mini movie in and of itself. So getting to work with him was something I had always wanted to do. And he's just the best. And biting him was delicious. It was, the cheek is also, it's nice. It's like a really nice, like peach cobbler, it's great.
Most excellent. Well, let me wrap it up with one more question. Mickey, this is such a fascinating world with fascinating characters you actually create. Is there still more to the story, possibly down the road?
Oh, a sequel?
Oh, I don't know. Sequel, short films. I mean, is there more? Did you, because you almost could have, you almost kind of left it open ended, like making us wonder like what is more with a lot of these characters.
It'll have to speak to me at a later time, you know. But you know, maybe it could. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what this one does. We'll figure it out. Maybe.
Most excellent. Well, Molly, Mickey, hey, congratulations once again for Agnes, and congratulations for showcasing this at Tribeca. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.